Alright, boys. We're gonna ruin Luke Atmey's entire career, and then I hope he never shows up again because I hate his name. His name is the worst pun name by far. My sis? I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice. So then she's still alive in your heart. What in the Kingdom Hearts are you talking about? Nicky boy! Oh, Miss Delight. Is it true that Detective is the real killer? To be honest, we don't have any definitive proof. But he's the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he at Lordly Taylor that night? Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atmey want to kill Kane Bullard? I think, and therefore I am, Detective Atmey was like the only security person at Lordly Taylor because Adrian hired him. But also, didn't he have access to the software that took the picture of Mask to Mask at Lordly Taylor? What if he just changed the timestamp on it? What if he did the theft at like 12:30 a.m. or something, but then made it say that it was 1 a.m.? That's what I'm thinking right now, because who stole the urn? Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. I need to find some solid proof, and it's gotta happen sooner rather than later. Alright, Chad, here we go. Even when he's not the one facing him, Phoenix won't let Payne win a trial. Well, that's what Payne gets for being a loser. Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Luke Atmey, please take the stand. Well, well, how do you do, sir, lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly. Couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. Not when it would have given you your perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Mask to Mask. I'm sorry, I'm afraid even the great Luke Atmey has no idea what you mean. Of course, I've been in the next courtroom ever since... The next courtroom ever since... I think that's supposed to say over. The next courtroom over since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I could know what's been going on in here. You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Mask to Mask. Indeed, it's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. How very Persona 5 of him. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond. Yeah, the red diamond ring. That's what it's. I knew it. That's what it said in the whatchamacallit. Why can't I say the word? The blackmail letter. There we go. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example. So you continue to insist that you are, in fact, Mask to Mask. Of course. Very well then, Luke Atmey, let us begin with this simple question. On October 12th at 1 a.m., Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at that time? One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge. Thanks. Alright, Mr. Atmey, the night of the murder, speak. We're all ears. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor. The alibi. I was stealing the urn as Mask to Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Mask to Mask was the same time as the murder. Seems the main point of discussion will be this photo of the crime scene. Everything else up until now was all part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well. Has to be a secret to this picture as well. Even the great Mask to Mask cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive. Unfortunately, Mr. Atmey, we still have to do your cross-examination. A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool. Alright, you've been talking to Von Karma. I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick. The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. How am I gonna disprove this one? Because I'm not sure how I'm going to. So this photograph is the proof, correct? Indeed it is. And the man in the photo is certainly wearing a mask. That is why I am called Mask to Mask. But conveniently, that also means there's no way to tell who it really is. What do you mean? Ha! Are you saying that this is not, in fact, Luke Atme? That it could be an accomplice dressed up as Master Mask to create an alibi? Uh-huh, what an interesting idea. Are you saying that I, Lone Wolf Luke, had an accomplice? What accomplice could he actually have? There's no way. There are no other, like, unless it's her. But if she does actually hate criminals and all, then there's no way that she would work with Luke Atme. I don't think that's right. If Luke Atme was at KB Security during the murder, then the Master Mask in this picture has to be a fake. Then there really was an accomplice. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. But right now, I have no idea who it was. I don't have any idea right now either. Baseless objections or just what that guy wants. Gotta be another way, and I'm gonna find it. Okay, so I wasn't. Okay, good. I'm a genius. How dare Atme try to steal Lone Wolf's name? So true. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point. That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. You sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right? Indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see. You truly are evil, aren't you? Yes, evil is what I am. Hey, Nick, isn't there something odd about this? Detective Atme is always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona. You know, that's true. It is kind of odd. Let's go through the rest of the hold-its, but it seems like that's where I'm going to want to try and push them. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct? Indeed it is, that is it. The very thing that proves I committed the crime. The very thing that proves you committed the crime. When you think about it, it's really odd. Yeah, he was the one who set up that camera, isn't he? Why would he do that? Why would he, unless he wanted to get an alibi? You say that almost as if you had this picture taken on purpose. He was simply caught by the very camera that he had set up. We all have days like that. Yeah, okay. Indeed, it turned out that there was no such thing as the perfect crime after all. Life is truly an ironic thing, a sad blue melody. Looks like I'd better gather more info for now. If he's truly the killer, there's got to be something phony in that photo. Alright, let's push him on the last thing, and then I want to look at the photo and try and see if I can spot anything that's out of place. About the camera that took this photograph. Oh, come now, it's all too clear what you're thinking. Wait, I just thought of something. Hold up. This photo is not dated. It just says a timestamp. Do I have anything that dates this photo? Okay, this camera data says that it went off of the night of crime. Never mind, maybe I'm wrong. But this also doesn't say a specific date. And this could, what if he took this photo at a different night when he was the only one being the security guard at like 1 a.m., but then the night of the actual crime, he wasn't there? I think I might be off on that because that camera says that it went off that night, or that data says it went off that night. Come now, it's all too clear what you're thinking, but he had control of the camera, so he could have, like, manipulated the data one way or another. You think I altered the timestamp on the photograph, don't you? Oh, no. I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lordly Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lordly Taylor's staff that printed that picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. All right, never mind, I'm wrong. They should have waited until I finished going through this before presenting my theory. I see. Looks like I'd better find something else that could be suspicious. So this alibi is false? It has to be, or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security. But I'm not really spotting anything unusual. There are two possibilities. Either the Master Mask in the photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. Okay, so wait, maybe it is still the photo. This makes me uncomfortable when they do the close-up on his eye. What was this one again? This was the one that Maya was like, this one's sus, right? Adrian hired you over 20 days ago, 10 days, you began your security watch. Indeed, there's no reason I couldn't do both at once. Perfect opportunity. Truly are evil. Yes, evil is what I am. Isn't there something odd? Proud of his ace detective skills. If the urn was stolen while he was the only one watching, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect persona. You know, that's true. It's kind of odd. I don't know what evidence I can do. By photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here. Indeed, the very thing that proves me innocent of crimes. Or no, not innocent of crimes, that proves you did the crime. Surely even you understand by now. Lordly Taylor provided it. There's no way I could have tampered. That means I could not have killed Kane Bullard unless I had an accomplice. Does he have an accomplice? Come on, think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse in this picture that supposedly captured it. Is this different dialogue? This doesn't look familiar. Oh, I didn't have this option before, right? I don't think so. It's gotta be here. Isn't there something funny about this picture? This has gotta be what I'm supposed to do because it didn't show up the first time I went through it. Wait a minute. This is what I wanted to look at. Huh. Is this something about the paint? It's not about the paint. I was wondering if maybe the paint would be missing, like on, because it shows the paint so prominently on the right side of the screen. But like that looks like the same paint smear. I was wondering if maybe the paint wouldn't have like the box shape in it, but it does right there, the shape of the box in the paint from when Adrian dropped it. He's missing the chest piece, but that's normal. Is he wearing gloves? That looks like... It looks like he's barehanded, but I assume he's wearing gloves. But the box! I don't think the box has any paint on it. Hold up. Hold up. I might have a solution. I should have saved the game. Wait, save. Are you implying this picture is a fake? Wait, let me save the game. I'm at like almost half health and I might be off on this. You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night before the theft took place, and there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. Oh, wait, there's something that doesn't match your memory? Oh, no. Is it the box, or is it going to be something else? Could it be the statue? That the statue is moved? Very well, let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph do you find funny? It's either that the box doesn't have paint on it, or it's that the statue isn't over the paint. Because we never figured out who moved the statue off of the paint, right? I'm pretty sure. But why doesn't the box have paint on it? Is it just that I'm looking at the wrong side of the box? Maybe there's paint on the box hidden by his hand. I think that the way that Phoenix, he said like something is missing, it's different from what he remembers seeing. I think that he has to be talking about the statue not being here. Him talking about like what's different from what I saw last time is that the box he's holding doesn't have paint on it. That doesn't sound like it makes as much sense as there's a missing statue. Okay, music stopped. I stopped myself from making a horrible mistake. The funny part is right here. Why this? This is a blood stain. No, it's paint. Ah, blood? Now this case is getting interesting. Not exactly. The stain is actually pink paint. Ah, the judge plays Danganronpa. That's how he made that mistake. Ah, just paint and peach colored at that. From blood to peaches. Judge sure loves going to his wild tangents. The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse, it turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen. Okay, he's got to be talking about the statue. He's got to be talking about the statue. Well, Mr. Wright, what is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains? The statue. The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following. Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it. I myself was there the night the theft took place and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, then that statue should have been there. But when I went there the day after the theft, that statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner. Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally. Your Honor, this statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it that distance. Ha! In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night? Can you do it, Nick? Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it? Atme moved it to make it match the picture that he had already prepared. Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you're prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one that moved the golden statue on the night of the crime? It had to be Atme to make it look like it was supposed to. The one who moved the statue is none other than Luke Atme. Come now, sir lawyer. There you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions? It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue? The reason for moving the golden statue, here's where our battle really begins. Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move that statue? The reason can be found here in this photograph. Luke Atme, you pretended to be mask to mask to create an alibi by showing you were at Lordly Taylor that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would be exposed like cheap film at a drugstore. That's why you had to move the statue. A single fatal flaw? Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist? It's the fact that the statue isn't here, right? Surely I'm not supposed to show that just like twice in a row, though. Surely. So it's like, is this the paint of the box? Or maybe I'm just supposed to say the timestamp because, like I said earlier, the timestamp doesn't actually show a date. It just shows a time, which means nothing. I don't know what else I could point out in this picture. Unless I am just supposed to be like, look, the statue's gone. But no, I'm trying to prove that the statue not being there, how that means that it's a lie. So just saying it again doesn't mean anything. It's got to be the timestamp. The fact that this timestamp does not have a date, that has to play a role in this case at some point. It has to. Naturally, the lie in the photo is the timestamp. I'm a genius. What do you mean? I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Luke Atme went to KB Security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at Lordly Taylor at this time. But what does that have to do with the statue being moved? Remember, if you will, Your Honor, when was this statue placed besides the warehouse door? Well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime, and it was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Luke Atme had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim, and so in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place. What the? Of course, the statue hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. Ah, so on the day of the crime, Mr. Atme must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. What on earth did you just say to me? Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Luke Atme had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make the room match the way it had been in his photo. No! Order! Order! I want a McFlurry. Mr. Atme, is this true? One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this? Okay, yeah, this is why I thought that I was wrong. How are we gonna disprove this? What's that? The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime. It's true the camera had been set up by the Lordly Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data. That's what I'm saying. Order! Order! Mr. Godot, what is the meaning of this? Uh-oh. He looks cool and collected. His music's gonna play. Godot, I warned you about making me wait. Put the coffee down. Oh, wow. The judge is mad. My 11th cup. I promised to drink no more than 17 during a trial, which means I'm still good till the last drop. However, the defense has a very good point. A good point? So what? We are all but travelers on a road of infinite points. Okay. I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points. So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time? and that the statue was moved in order to make it match. That's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied, which is that it's only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams. Why does he talk like this? That's very true. No way, don't fall for that, Your Honor. Hey, Mr. Damask. Yes? If there's no funny business in your actions as Mask Damask, there should be no problem with you telling us your strategy, so let's hear it. Yes, please provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the sacred urn. Okay. I don't know where this is gonna go. Sorry, take a drink of water. And by that I mean, like, what is him telling us about how he stole the urn? How is that gonna, like, how is that gonna help? What are we gonna get out of this? I first received a request from Lord Lee Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box, and Zavari, it was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. It's not extremely valuable. There's no way you could have known that, so I'm probably gonna push you on that. That's a lie. Don't we have a thing that literally says the urn is, like, not worth any money? Not this. We did this last, didn't we? We used this as evidence against Ron, right? That, like, the whatchamacallit isn't actually worth any money? Is it Pearl? No. We had something at some point that said that the urn is not actually worth anything. I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. Well, you didn't hold the urn, you held the box that the urn was in. It's pretty much all stuff we've heard before, isn't it? Yeah, but we'll find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new info he gave. Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time? I mean, he doesn't have to worry about if there are mistakes or not, brother, because you never try anyone for perjury anyway. Very well then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. The sacred urn heist. I don't know what I'm supposed to get out of this other than saying that the urn is not worth any money. You're asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews, is that right? Indeed, it seems that they had heard of my svarkling reputation. Is Zvarky just supposed to be sparkling, but, like, spoken in an accent? Svarkling. What accent would that be? Is that, like, Russian? French? I think it's Russian. Da, Svarkling. Maybe? I can't do accents. I see Miss Andrews is still attracting all the weirdos. You better watch out too, Maya. The urn was placed in a box, and it was then sent to the warehouse. This is wrong. Wait, yes, no, this is right. It was placed in a box and then sent to the warehouse. I thought he was saying that it got to the warehouse and then was put in a box. I'm still gonna push him on it, though. You mean this box? Yes, that pathetic box. Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn, and she wouldn't let anyone enter the storeroom, not even me. Huh, interesting new tidbit. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself. So you're sure you had never seen the urn before? Indeed, you may ask Lady Andrews if you like. I pressed X too fast there, I might have read that wrong. My security was focused entirely on the entrance to the warehouse. However, look at me, let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, that's wrong. You mean this calling card? That's right, that is without a doubt my calling card. Guess Mr. Delight didn't make this after all. Of course, because Atme knew about the emblem. Making this card authentic would have been child's play for him. Then no one entered the basement warehouse? Unfortunately, there were many different treasures being taken there. Thus, for a period of approximately 5 days, people were indeed going in and out of the warehouse. And this is the photo that proves that, huh? Indeed, to be honest, even if a photo was taken, I didn't think it would matter terribly much. Hey, Nick, if this photo is a fake, Detective Atme might have stolen the urn whenever this was taken. That's true. You know, he's been saying that he never saw the urn until that night. If we can prove that he's lying there, we can wrap this up and put a bow on it. I need to take a good hard look at the court record. Not a lot to go on, is there? That detective's been covering his tracks. There's only one thing we need to prove in this cross-examination, that he took this photo well before the actual night of the crime. Alright then, how do we do that? There's one thing that Atme stated very clearly, that he had never seen the urn before he stole it. I feel like this case is holding your hand a little bit more than previous cases, but also, like, sometimes in the second game, the way that the game had everything so incredibly vague, it would be too frustrating, so I'm not really upset about it, but I do feel like the game is holding your hand a bit more in this, at least in this turnabout, than in the first and second games. We need to prove he's lying. The other games have had moments like this where they say, like, what we need to do is this, but I feel like they've really been doing it in this case. Okay, what could I possibly have? I mean, there's this poster that shows the urn. I don't have any way to prove that he saw that poster, though. I think we're done with this picture for right now. We're gonna bring this back up when we have to talk about the red diamond. We're gonna end up using the blackmail letter to prove that he had a motive for killing Kane Bullard, I'm pretty sure. Huh. We're probably gonna have to use this to prove that he had motive as well. Huh. It's gotta be, like, something about, like, the urn. But I don't see how. Like, one of the urn things. I gotta, like, go back through some of these. I have no idea. Seems they had heard of my sparkling reputation, still attracting weirdos, yada. Okay, so there's nothing on the first one. There's nothing there. You mean this box? That pathetic box. Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn, and she wouldn't let anyone enter the storeroom, not even me. Interesting new tidbit. Okay, I don't really think there's anything there. It's gotta be, I need to present something on him saying that he didn't see it. You're sure you had never seen the urn before? Indeed, you may ask, lady. I pressed X too fast to get in there. My security was focused entirely on the entrance. However, I look at me, let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers. Run this again. Never seen the urn. You may ask Lady Andrews to confirm for yourself. Okay, that's what he says. My security was focused entirely on the entrance. However, I look at me, let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers. It's not extremely valuable. You mean this calling card? That's right, that is without a doubt my calling card. Guess Mr. Light didn't make it after all. Of course, because he knew about the emblem, making this card authentic would have been child's play. No one entered the basement warehouse. Fortunately, there were many different treasures, a period of approximately 5 days. There were indeed people going in and out, yada yada. I don't think there's anything there either, but the judge reacting to it is weird. This is the photo that proves it, huh? Indeed, to be honest, even if a photo was taken, I didn't think it would matter too much. Nick, if this photo is a fake, Atme might have stolen the urn whenever this was taken. That's true. You know he's been saying he never saw the urn until that night. If we can prove that he's lying there, we can wrap it up and put a bow on it. We need to take a good hard look at the court record, been covering his tracks, yada yada yada. Okay, yeah, I know all this, I know all this. I don't think that I can use that. I think we're done with that. I can actually check this. To the security at Lordly Taylor, I will be coming to purloin the most priceless work of art on display in your Treasures of Crane exhibit. Take good care of the speckled urn, won't you? Yours truly, Master. The speckled urn? The speckled urn. You said speckled? You said you never saw this crap, bro. I think I got him. I'm a genius. Mr. Atme, if you really are Master, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course, there a problem with that calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Master Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now the speckled here surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn. Yes, that's true, but so what? Truth be told, There's no way Master Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor. Ugh. I love how Godot's mask is smoking when he's freaking out, and it's like his visor is blinking. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite. The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say an error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. You can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern, which means Detective Atme had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. Because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water. Dude just named that. Bro just said the name of a Yu-Gi-Oh card there. Gagigo, Gagigo. Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself? Alright, that did it. He's broken. Nick, I think it's still a little early for a victory pose. I can't talk today. Ha! It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction, you say? Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Master Mask, and now we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle? That's a good point, is it though? No way, don't fall for that too, Your Honor. You say that Luke Atme was the one who killed Kane Bullard? Then let me ask you this. This is where I'm gonna, yeah. This is where I'm gonna show that the blackmail was meant for Acme. Yep. Acme. I meant Atme. I hate this dude's name. Let me ask you this. Why would you do that? An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright. Motive. Might you marry my merry murderous motive manifest? Shut up. Nick, he's getting his second win. If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ron Delight, as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder. The only one with any motive we've seen is Ron Delight. Isn't that right, Detective? Indeed. According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were. I'd be honored to, sir, old-timer. They're doing everything they can to make Ron look sus. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. Motive for murder. I, Luke Atme, had no point of contact with the victim whatsoever. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Master Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Master Mask. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy. Okay. I don't think I'm going to be able to just immediately show the blackmail, like matching it up to his diamond ring thing. I don't think. So I'm probably going to have to find something else to link this up. Didn't I mention something earlier that I was like, this is also going to help me? Oh, we have this, Kane's list. I think that this list only really shows that Kane Bullard was interacting with Master Mask, though. Which they can just hand wave away as he thought that what's his face was. Well, no, wait, don't we also have the thing about, like, Yeah, that he was getting he was being stealed by blackmail letters. He was getting directions to steal by blackmail letters. So the victim, Kane Bullard, blackmailed the defendant. This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter. Okay, knew that. What? Found in Ron Delight's room, written by Bullard. Okay. Figured that was the case. Very well, Mr. Wright, begin your cross-examination. Okay. I know what, like, the cinch is going to be. But I think the way this is gonna go, from how Ace Attorney has gone, how many games we played, what needs to happen here is I know that what links Atme to Bullard here is that the blackmail letter mentions the red diamond that Atme has. That's gonna be like, but I don't think that's what we're gonna start with. I think I have to get him, I have to catch him somewhere else, and then the nail in the coffin is gonna be the blackmail letter mentioning the diamond. Look at me, had no contact, whatever. Who in the world is gonna prove that? I will. After doing a thorough background check of Detective Atme and Kane Bullard, we were unable to find any links between them. It's all in the report. Perhaps they were connected through their work. They were both involved in security. Nope. That was blunt. In any case, the only one with a motive was Mr. Delight. Hold it. Mistook. That's right, mistook, from the Old Norse mistaka, meaning to take in error. That wasn't what I meant. Just who did the victim mistake Master to be? Why, the answer is obvious. Raw and Delight, of course. Boy, I'd like to wipe that smug look off this guy's face. I'll press harder. Why would the victim mistake the defendant for Master Mask? Don't you already know that? Zavari, take a look at this newspaper. That's the famous Tear of Ammonon, a magnificent jewel. That photo shows a magnificent detective as well, does it not? Furthermore, it also shows an ugly guard, namely the defendant. The defendant? The victim clearly misread this article and, Zavari, he got the wrong impression. The impression that this ugly security guard was in fact Master Mask. I see. That was an unusually reasonable deduction. You mean this blackmail letter right here? It says bring 50K, and the handwriting is without a doubt the victim's. There's no mistake, we have an official record to prove it. But I don't see an addressee on this letter anywhere. An addressee? This letter was discovered in Ron Delight's apartment, and Mr. Delight did show up at the designated place and time. The fact that there's no addressee is irrelevant. It is relevant, though, because we don't know, like, what must have happened is that Bullard gave this blackmail letter to Atme, and then Atme, planning to kill Bullard and frame Ron Delight, then gave the blackmail letter to Delight. What's up, Nick? I just had a thought. What if that blackmail letter wasn't meant for Mr. Delight? Whoa, do you have any evidence of that? For some reason, I can't shake the feeling that there's something not quite right about this blackmail letter. It mentions the red diamond! Well, everyone, are you quite satisfied? Hold it. What do you mean by that? Oh my, I was certain you were already aware. Zavari. KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of other companies. And since I was a security team chief, I stole data from the company. Kane Bullard had yet to forgive you, young Delight, which is why he sent him that letter upon mistakenly believing he was the thief. Here's a file we discovered in Mr. Bullard's office, evidence that Mr. Bullard was receiving money through blackmail. However, isn't this a bit odd? Why did the defendant pay Mr. Bullard the money, even though he wasn't actually Master Mask? On that point, there was an unfortunate bit of chance. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. Defendant truly believes he is Master Mask. Do you really think that story is gonna hold up? That assertion is not merely my own, I'm afraid. What do you mean? I have here a memo from Ron Delight's wife, Desiree Delight. Oh, no. Ronnie thinks he's Master Mask. Don't you feel sorry for him? Please don't think too badly of him. Oh. Desiree! Well, Mr. Trite? Was he trying to act like Miss Delight just now? I thought it was actually pretty convincing. That's why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. That's just your imagination talking. Come now, sir lawyer. I'm afraid imagination isn't the right word for it. This is a deduction, the result of carefully applied reasoning. Can we hear that careful reasoning for ourselves? It's a long story, better say it for another time. What is he talking about? Very well, another time. What do you mean another time? Those so-called long stories aren't usually all that long. At least not in my experience. So you're gonna try to connect Detective Atme to Mr. Bullard, right? Yeah, that's right. Hopefully it won't require surgery either. In that case, you'll have to talk about the blackmail. That's true. Was that blackmail letter really intended for Ron? Okay, now I'm thinking that I am just supposed to immediately show the blackmail letter. Since we don't have enough information, you should press him for more testimony. Maybe I'll be able to shake some contradictions loose that way. Wait, is the game telling me I actually need to just press through again? Who in the world is going to prove that? I will, yada yada. We were unable to find links between them. That was blunt, yada yada, same stuff. Bum, bum, bum. Mistook, yeah, it's Mistaka, yada yada, wasn't what I meant. Who's the victim? The answer is obvious, we're on Delight. Press harder again? Maybe I should have done leave it here. Why would the defendant mistake him? Don't you already know that? Take a look at this newspaper, yada yada. This is very funny because they're like showing me a bunch of stuff from the court record instead of me showing them. I feel like it normally doesn't go that way. Do I have anything other than this? If you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead. It's obviously meant for Luke. Bum bum bum. Dun no no. Kind of just like going through all the evidence again to try and get like an idea. I think the only things we have to, if I'm supposed to prove that the letter is meant for someone else, the only thing I have to do that, evidence-wise, is to show the letter and talk about how it mentions a red diamond. Where would I present that? Not that. Investigate Master Master and simply mistook who he was. Not that. Mr. Bullard, who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. This is him saying that it was sent to Ron Delight, so probably there. Harbored a grudge for his betrayal. Defendant believes he is Master Mask. I don't know if I'm supposed to present something other than the blackmail letter, but I feel like I just present the blackmail letter here. Music stopped. He's done it yet again, chat. Might have asked you a few questions, Detective Atme? Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's all right. When you said that this letter was addressed to Ron Delight, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction. Contradiction? I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that. You're one to talk. At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you got there, Junior? Indeed, time to man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradicting evidence and the content of the blackmail letter. Wait. Do I show the letter again? I already showed the letter, though. This must be where I'm supposed to show something else, but I don't know what. The Shishishito. It's camera data, it's the calling card. Sorry, I'm yawning. This is just him striking a pose. Time of death, 1 a.m. Blunt trauma to the head. Stolen, the gym, and the thief. Huh. This is just Ron's testimony. That he was stealing as directed by blackmail letters. This would actually go against my case. It would be like, oh, well, if he was blackmailing Ron to do heists, he would blackmail him for this too. I don't think there's anything with the urn. I think we're done with the urn. And like the paint and stuff. I don't know what I could show here. Contradicting evidence on the content in the letter. If you don't want your true identity revealed to the world, come to security at 1 a.m. on October 12th, bring 50K. If you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead. The contradicting thing is that it says that I'll take the red diamond you received. Ron Delight never received a red diamond. Luke Atme did. How do I prove that, though? I don't... Huh. Can I can't save the game. I'm kinda stumped on this one. Speckled urn, yada yada. Warehouse camera went off around 1 a.m. night of the crime, yada yada. I don't know if they can see anything about this picture. Yeah, I don't know what I can present. This doesn't say anything about the red diamond. I have no idea. I actually have no idea, and I can't save, so if I, like, show something and it's wrong, like, twice or 3 times, we're dead. No, dude, I'm stumped. I have no idea. I have no idea, and I don't want to just sit here for 10 minutes going back and forth. Someone in chat give me, like, a hint. Present the newspaper clipping? Okay, well, I said give me a hint, not tell me the answer, but alright. This? How is this gonna prove anything? Stolen, the gem, and the thief. The precious gem, the tear of... I hate how, like, the bottom is cut off. The tear of Emanon, priceless. I don't understand how this contradiction anything, but okay. Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the tear of Emanon, the stolen jewel. What about it? Problem is this jewel's color. What? But it's not this... Okay. Whoops. Okay, I see where Phoenix is gonna go with this, but I'm a little annoyed about it. This happens sometimes, and I hate it in this game. It's maybe my least favorite thing about Ace Attorney. Is, they put stuff that's very clearly like, this is how you're going to catch the person, but then, like, it actually screws you over because you're like, this says, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day, not stolen or anything. So we know, as the players, that the red diamond they're talking about is the gemstone that Atme has for having returned the 4th stolen object, right? But Phoenix is going to make an argument that the diamond that he's talking about here is the gemstone in this newspaper clipping, which we know is wrong. Phoenix is wrong right now with what he's trying to argue, because we know that's not the gem that he's talking about, but that's what the game wants us to argue. I kind of hate it when Ace Attorney does that, because it, like, the player basically has to do something that they know is wrong to be able to proceed properly, and I don't like that. I don't think it's fun. Problem is the jewel's color. Color? I'm not much for discussing color myself. According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. Red. See, I knew that we wanted to point out that the whole red diamond thing is, like, how we catch him. I don't like how it's the newspaper clipping mentioning a totally unrelated stolen object to get to that point, because I just think that that's like it's a dumb leap in logic, I think. I think it's a bad leap in logic. Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the tear of Emanon that Master Mass stole at all.
Objection.
And your point is, Mr. Trite? You're trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else. That's what you're trying to say, right, Trite? That's what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright? Well, that's what you're trying to say, right, Nick? Yes. This is who Kane Bullard was actually blackmailing, or he was blackmailing Luke Atme, I just know that. Naturally, it was you, Detective Atme. Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? You've been personally involved in every single Master Mask case. And in the last case, you recovered what was stolen and received a jewel as your reward. Okay, yeah, so I knew exactly where this was supposed to go. The newspaper clipping I don't think is a good... I don't think that's a good way for the game to get you to that point. I wish that they could have done it in, like, a more, like, reasonable way, in my opinion. A jewel? Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring! That's the diamond referred to in the letter, which means Kane Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you. Order! Order in the court! Order, I say! I want a small Frosty. Seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Trite. Are you not on Cup 17 yet? I don't like the way he said that. Kane Bullard blackmailing Luke at me? Are you for real? Yeah, I am. Nick, come on, stand up to him. Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world. Yes, it certainly does. Kane Bullard threatened to make Luke Atmey's identity public knowledge. An identity you wanted to keep a secret, so just what was that identity? Atmey killed Kane Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity you wanted to keep secret? This is what it all comes down to, Nick? Wait a minute. Is it that he wanted to be Master Mask? Did he mistake him for Master Mask? This is what it all comes down to, Nick. The identity that Luke Atmey wanted to so desperately keep secret, it was his identity as... a blackmailer! Oh, thank goodness this is multiple choice. It wasn't Bullard who was blackmailing Ron Delight into stealing all of the treasures and all. It was Luke Atmey, and that's how Luke Atmey always kept up with Ron Delight when he was stealing his Master Mask. Thank goodness that was multiple choice, because I did not make that connection. Luke Atmey was a blackmailer.
Objection.
Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Kane Bullard was the one blackmailing Luke Atmey. You saying that Atmey was blackmailing someone else on top of it? You have to admit that does sound a little odd. It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atmey, but Ron Delight was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. Did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? Yeah, just a few days after the Tear of Emanon heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from some very kind person, incredibly detailed plans. Incredibly detailed, that's Luke Atmey. Detailed plans, in which case that would mean that Ron Delight was actually Master Mask. That's what we're claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. Delight steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke Atmey. Shh. Silence. Haha, now I see it's all becoming clear. What is? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless with the tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? You are wrong. How did you... Oh, wait, did he? You say that I, Luke Atmey, was blackmailing Ron Delight? In which case, I would naturally know all about his relation to Master Mask. Well, yeah. Ron Delight started receiving plans from his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed that first crime. Good point. You certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise. In that case, let's see some hot bit of evidence. During the first crime, how did Luke Atmey know that Ron Delight was Master Mask? It's the newspaper clipping, isn't it? Isn't it the fact that he saw him right here in this picture together? Right? Because he's the one who said, like, oh, look, he's this guard right here. It's got to be this. I think I see it. See what? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief trying to be the center of attention. What do you mean? This newspaper clipping. It has a picture of you and Ron Delight in his guard uniform. Seems that Master Mask didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket. That sounds far too stupid to be true. Correct! With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. That's when you figured it out, Mr. Atmey. That's when you learned, oh, it auto-skipped. That's when you learned that he was, whatchamacallit. Wasn't he supposed to be mask to mask? Not only that, it looks like it wasn't even an ace detective. Can't believe it, he was just a slimy blackmailer. What a fraud, trying to pass himself off as an ace detective. Why you? How dare you expose me like that? Why I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective and also mask to mask. Why can't you understand that? I'm afraid you're neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That's your true identity. Why you? How dare you even dare imply that one as smart and capable as I could ever fall to such lowly depths? Yada, okay, yeah. None of you can compare my genius, yada yada. He's speaking in tongues. It's enough to make one laugh. Alright. It would seem we finally arrived at the real answer. That was quite a performance by Mr. Atme. Bailiff, please prepare a cell for Mr. Atme. Uh-oh. Cup 17. The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim. What do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver my ruling. Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge that you can't do that. It's not allowed. You don't get much more in your face than that. It appears your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Trite. What do you... It's true you've proven a lot of things. Things like Lewd Atme was a filthy blackmailer, and that he wasn't at Lord Lee Taylor the night of the murder. That's right. That's why he's the one who killed Mr. Bull. But... there's still one thing you've yet to prove. What's that? Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB security, I don't see how a verdict can be delivered. No. No way! Order! Order in the court! Well, Mr. Wright, this is it. This is the final round. I gotta prove that Atme was in Mr. Bullard's office on that night. But can you really prove that? That's long enough. Mr. Trite, I want to hear your answer. That night, Luke Atme was at KB security, and the defense... Can I prove it? He was wearing gloves, he was blackmailing. There are no fingerprints on anything. I don't think that I can prove it. Am I supposed to say I can't prove it, and then we go into another testimony where I'm going to figure out how to prove it? Well, let's just save the game and then try. I can't prove it. Just as I thought. But, if we hear more of Detective Atme's testimony... Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Trite. What do you mean? I won't allow for any more testimony, that's what I mean. What? Have you forgotten? Luke Atme is here after we interrupted his own trial. And you failed to prove that he committed the murder? I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict as mask to mask. No. Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. Love? I'm the ace detective as well as mask to mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Ron Delights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Order! Order in the court! That's enough deliberation over this witness. I can't believe this. At this rate, Ron is. Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence, and by then it'll be too late. Huh? Why? Double jeopardy, one of the basic rules of any court of law. Double jeopardy? Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court, that defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is a fundamental rule of all courts, and it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else. Mr. Atme will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty is mask to mask, which means he'll be innocent as far as the murder of Kane Bullard is concerned. No way. The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Atme's guilt of that crime here means he will never again be tried as Kane Bullard's murderer. Whoa! Now there's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent, the real killer, Luke Atme, will go free. You've cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today, and as long as there's no more testimony, I'm afraid I have to declare that there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? All right, we're gonna... This is where Edgeworth is gonna show up and save the day. Miles Plot Device Edgeworth, as I like to call him. Then I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke Atme.
Objection!
Whose voice was that? I think I see it. Your Honor, when you were a child, this is what was on your report card every year. Was that Mia who's possessing Maya? Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result. How did you? Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? It's Mia! Best girl's back! A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. I still don't like Mia's objection voice, by the way. That voice? No way. Best girl! Long time no see, Phoenix. Mia! This is the true power of the crane channeling technique. I know that it's really Maya who's standing before me, but right now she's my mentor, Mia Fey. Now let's do this. But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine. Not yet. The testimony's not over yet. What do you mean? Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You've cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. Yes, that's true, but... Unfortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks. Love wins after all. I'm detective as well as master mass. My verdict will verify that, just as Ron Delights will verify he's the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Yes, but those comments appear to have no importance whatsoever. Very well, then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, assert our right to question them. Is that all right with you, prosecutor? Is something the matter, Mr. Godot? Ah, nothing. Sir Lawyer, it looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehoods will do anything to me, let's hear it. Huh? It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination. Mr. Godot, what are you? Very well then, Mr. Luke Atme. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks. The defense would like to hear why you declared the defendant to be the true murderer. So please, give us one last bit of testimony. Phoenix, this is it, our absolute last chance. Yes, Chief. Alright, the last testimony. This trial day has been long. Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lordly Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me the true culprit was Ron Delight, and thanks to the key card and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim should have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. And the blackmail letter, the victim likely just mistook the color of the jewel. Zavari. Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy. Holy cow, that is a lot of testimony. The testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well. The witness's earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained, and none of them seem to contradict anything. But of course. But how did you know about the emergency buzzer? How'd you know about the parts you weren't there for, Your Honor? The police investigation documents went directly through me, and I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, Sir Lawyer. Grr. You gonna make even more trouble for us now, Sir Lawyer? I will not allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. We cannot postpone Luke Atme's trial any longer. This is your last chance. Hang on a sec, just one chance. Ha, seems the party's about to begin. Well, Phoenix, there isn't any evidence that contradicts with that testimony. So it would seem. What do you mean, so it would seem? Listen, Phoenix, pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it. Cup number 17. The last cup. Seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial. I have to find a fatal contradiction in this testimony, and I need to point it out without presenting evidence. So I'm not supposed to present evidence? Which means all I can do is find the contradictory remark and press it. Remember, you only get one chance. Wait, do I only get to press one? Do I only get to press one thing? Is that the only thing I get to press? Very well then, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination. Let me save immediately. Do I get to press on more than one thing, or don't I? Save. I just want to see if I can only press on one thing or not. Mr. Atme, about this last remark. You still don't get it, do you, Trite? This isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement. Wah. I said this before, there's still one thing you haven't proven. That this scum was in Kane Bullard's office that night. And now it's time for me to drink my last cup. Mr. Wright, I will hold you to your end of the bar. Okay, you do just immediately lose. That's really annoying. All right, shut up, shut up. That's dumb. Don't like that. I don't like it when you can't press things. I prefer the game when you can press things, and it's when you present evidence that something goes wrong. Had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Ron Delight. Thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which sounded once. Button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Delight was wearing his mask-to-mask outfit, which is why he left no prints, and the blackmail letter, the victim likely just mistook the color of the jewel. Zavari, therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy. Huh. I have no idea. This is so much. Let's rule out which ones it can't be. It can't be this one, because we already tried. Could be that one? We proved that, so it can't be that one. I don't think it's that one. We can't, he is there. It can't be that one. This did only sound once. Can't be that one. Button didn't have any fingerprints. Can't be that one. Victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Could be that one because it... Well, no. The killer did sound it, but the killer is at me. Mr. Light was wearing his mask-to-mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. It's true. Mistook the color of the jewel is stupid. I might be able to push that one. This is a nothing statement. So it's this one. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Maybe that one somehow. Not that one. Maybe that one. I don't think it would be the second statement. Is it this one? Am I supposed to push harder on the whole diamond ring thing? Victim likely just mistook the color of the jewel. It's gotta be the one about the jewel, or it has to be this one. Music didn't stop. Oh, it did. Never mind.
Objection.
Oh, no. Is it wrong? I think this is the same dialogue. That's wrong, too. Dude, I hate that I played through the entire case and only lost, like, 4 hearts or 5 hearts or whatever throughout it. But then none of that frigging matters because at the very end when it matters most, it's just like, hey, it doesn't matter if you have full health. You just insta-lose if you don't pick the right option out of, like, 8 options. That's so stupid. That's so dumb. It completely defeats the purpose of even having the stupid little health bar. This one, then.
Objection.
Is it wrong again? Which one is it? I hate this. I hate when you can't just press the person and then figure out evidence. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. I hated it in Justice for All, and I hate it in this. Chat, I hate this. Which one is it? I don't care. Which one of these is it supposed to be? It's the 9th statement? You couldn't have just told me what statement it was? What, or like what was in the statement? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He was wearing his mask-to-mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. What? This is true! Mr. Atme, about this last remark. No, this is also wrong? This isn't the time to be pressing on every little statement, yada yada. Oh, no, wait, no, I shake my head this time. I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Godot. What? Mr. Atme, it seems you finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder. How can you say that? Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Atme? Button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Delight was wearing his mask-to-mask outfit, is that correct? Indeed, that's what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof. More like your deductions prove that you're a fool. I'm sorry, whatever do you mean? For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty. When exactly did we learn the fact that Ron Delight was dressed as Master? Oh, okay. There's no way that Luke Atme could have known that Ron Delight was dressed as Mask. Okay. Okay, I understand why this statement proves that he's wrong, and I agree with it. So that's cool. I still hate that you can't press him on anything. I would have much preferred if I could press him on all of his points and then like look through it and deduct like, oh wait, how would he know that Ron was wearing the mask-to-mask thing? That to me would be more fun. That would be more enjoyable. Instead of making it where it's like, hey, if you don't remember this one thing that you don't have like a text log to go back and look at or anything, there's no, like if you just happen to, if that one bit of info happened to slip your mind or you don't remember it perfectly, you're just screwed and you can't even try to like parse it out by pushing the defendant and pressing L1 and trying to get intel, then you just immediately lose. I hate that. I think that makes the game less fun and it makes me not want to play Ace Attorney. That takes the fun out of the game, and I play video games to have fun. That was, it was just a few hours ago. Back when my 6th cup was looking at me with a cold stare. Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention before? I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. That's right, the defendant had yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should have known this are those who have been watching the trial, and he's been in the other trial room all day. Do you understand now, Detective Atme? There's no way you should have known that! Ah! Alright, good deduction that I wish I could have figured out, but I still stand by the game mechanic changing to you can't press him for any info, and if you don't pick the correct out of 9 options, you immediately lose the game. Bad game design. I think that actively makes the game unenjoyable. You're in the next courtroom, being tried as mask-to-mask. So then enlighten us! How'd you know about that piece of intel? Well... Come on, this detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand. I love the objection back and forths with Phoenix and Godot in this case. And it's those chances that I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. Delight was wearing his mask-to-mask outfit. There's one and only one way for Detective Atme to have found that out. Only one. One way, you say. Please recall, if you will, Mr. Delight's testimony. When I entered the office, there was a sus shadow there. For a second, my client witnessed the real killer.
Objection.
But Mr. Delight never saw his attacker. There's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was Luke Atme. It's with that statement that'll turn this case on its head. Just what are you implying? Mr. Delight saw the real killer, correct? Now if you turn that statement around, it stands to reason the real killer had also seen Ron Delight. Impossible. Dude, that mask is gonna explode. Oh my goodness, the silhouette was Luke at me all along? That's insane. Detective Atme, you saw Master Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Kane Bullard and assaulted Ron Delight. That was the only way you could have known what Ron was wearing. Wait, is there an earthquake going on? He's going Super Saiyan? Ha 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 ha. Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. That's the same line you gave yesterday. But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time. Ha 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 ha, wee. What an awfully complicated incident. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atme, who was in turn blackmailing Ron Delight. And upon killing his blackmailer, Luke Atme tried to frame Ron Delight. He then claimed to be guilty as Master Mask in order to escape his true crime. And to that end, he came up with this plan, to use the double jeopardy rule when making his alibi. At any rate, it would seem we finally found the truth. Excuse me. Came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Well, not innocent. He's not a murderer, but he is a thief. Besmirching him with the title of murderer. Don't ignore me! Oh, I didn't realize you were there. Why wouldn't he be? About the verdict? I know, you never committed any murder. That's right, I'm so glad you understand, but I really am Master Mask. Huh? So thanks to that trial yesterday, I'm innocent now, right? What was it you said? Double jeopardy? Now that you mention it, I've been careless. Careless? What do you think, Mia? As the defendant says, the rule of double jeopardy is absolute. A defendant can never be tried twice for a crime in which he was once found innocent. Okay, he was found innocent of stealing that one night as Master Mask, though. But he is admitted to stealing all of the other nights. Especially the first night where he wasn't even blackmailed. I don't think that this double jeopardy thing does what they're saying it does. Then Master Mask is really innocent? It would seem so for now. For now. He's not gonna be innocent when his wife hears about this. Now then, this court finds the defendant not guilty. Man, that trial day was a lot longer than I thought it would be. Boy, this is really lucky. Wait, this isn't so good after all. You see, the thing is, I still am Master Mask after all. You did it, Phoenix. Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah, it's because Maya doesn't call on me much these days. Aw, I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days. You mean about becoming the master of the Crane Channeling School? Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother. Misty Fey, right? Watch over her, will you, Phoenix? Of course. Well then, see you around. No, best girl, come back. Mr. Wright, I don't know what to say. Congrats, Mr. Delight. Thank you so much. Oh, no, wait. Nothing really mattered. Why? Stop skipping dialogue, game. Come on, just be happy already. Maya, you've been cleared of the murder charges and got off as Master Mask to boot. But in exchange, I lost everything. Huh? What do you mean? Stealing security info from KB Security, becoming Master Mask. I did it all for one reason, for her. You mean your wife, Desiree. She hates criminals more than anything. Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she? She always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure. So that's why you became Master Mask. Yes, but it's all over now. A broken bowl can never be put back together. That's not true, right, Nick? Right. Really? Can we go back to the way things were? Well, you shouldn't go back to stealing. You'll be fine, and Nick can prove it. I can? I kind of wish you would check with me first. Mr. Delight, even if a bowl is broken, there's always a way to put it back together. Does it want me to show the urn? By the way, we never did anything with Kane's list, which is insane. Does it actually want me to show the urn? Take that. The sacred urn. Desi was the one who found this. Desiree, your wife, she's always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything. Ah, there you are. I don't know if that was the right thing to show or not, but it's funny either way. Miss Delight. You did it right. Shouldn't it be Mrs. Delight? You did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy. Thank you. I appreciate that, but, I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you? Ronnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you'd quit KB Security. Never imagined you were really mask to mask either. Miss Delight, what are you gonna do now that you know? You're not gonna really leave him, are you? Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. So fast there's no way he could ever get away. Alright. That's... I'd be a little worried hearing someone say that to me. But didn't you say you hated criminals? Huh? I only hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective. I see. My Ronnie went and declared his crimes before he committed them like a man. I just love a man who's so chivalrous. Chivalrous? I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement. Desi. Desiree, you really do love Ron, don't you? Nicky boy? Yeah? Really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us. Oh, well, take care of yourself. You too, Nicky boy. I can feel my face going red. Mr. Nick, Mystic Maya, congrats! Gasp. Talk about bad timing. Mr. Nick, how could you, with another man's wife in front of Mystic Maya? No, you've got it all wrong. I'll never forgive you. Yada, yada, yada. Alright. Just as the case came to a close, so too did my consciousness. Ron said a broken bowl can never be put back together, but I know that's not true. I mean, just look. Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together even better than before. Well, you should probably clean off all that paint. The Stolen Turnabout, the end. We finally got it. All right, there we go. The Stolen Turnabout. Oh my goodness, they're including a maid cafe. Recipe? Why did I say recipe like that? Recipe for Turnabout. Does that dude have a scouter at the top right? All right, well, that's the end of The Stolen Turnabout. This is going to be the end of a video on YouTube. Overall, pretty good. I enjoyed The Stolen Turnabout, all things considered. It felt a little hand-holdy at some moments, but I don't think it was too bad. I would rather it be a little too hand-holdy instead of being way too vague like Justice for All was a lot of the time. I really hate... It's a bit of a sour taste in my mouth at the end because I really hate how they did that ending bit with the, like, hey, you don't actually get to press on every statement. You have to pick the exact right one out of, like, 10 different statements. And also I really hate that it insta-kills you. It would be one thing if it, like, cost a lot of health. Like, it cost, like, 4 health or something. But just insta-dying on it, I think, is dumb. Also, it was another case of one of those things that I don't like in Ace Attorney where, the way that you figure out what was wrong there is not by looking at evidence and whatnot. The way you figure out what was wrong there is you have to remember what Ron said about, like, no one knew that I was dressed as Mask to Mask until today, and there's no way he could know that. I think that's a really clever way to catch him, but I wish that there had been some kind of piece of evidence that mentioned that, and I could have pressed him on the statement and then looked at my evidence and been like, wait a second, this evidence mentions, like, Ron's testimony that, like, he didn't tell anyone that he was dressed as Mask to Mask, but right here he said that, like, what's-his-face said that I knew he was dressed as Mask to Mask, you know? I think that is what makes Ace Attorney fun, is when you press statements, you get info out of the statements, and then you look at the court record and you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't match up with the court record. I'm gonna like present this evidence. That is what makes Ace Attorney fun to me. And that last statement there is the antithesis of that. It basically takes away all of the things that make it fun and make it annoying instead, in my opinion. But the rest of the case, I think, was really good. I think it was a fun case. I think it had fun twists and turns. The way that you got most of the evidence and, like, pushed the defendants and, like, proved that they were wrong. I think it was all pretty good overall. So, fun case overall with a couple of things that I found really annoying. But, yeah, that's going to be the end of this video on YouTube. So, the next one will be Recipe for Turnabout. We'll be starting episode 3. Here we go.